Hello again, my friends. Thank you for tuning in for my second part of analyzing media articles. And I was analyzing in the first part uh, the article from Yahoo News titled "We Spoke with Seven Ex-CIA and Pentagon Experts." Here's what they say Putin wants in Ukraine. So we have these experts, and I spoke about this Greg Sims, who talked. He says that he's a KGB man. That means I don't know exactly what it means. And then the second one is Ronald Marks, talking about Putin, like he wants to reassert Russia, which I don't see anything wrong with any country in the world reassessing itself after it was stumped down by the big powers from what 1991 until about 8 years, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. No, they want some guarantees, some security guarantees, like everybody else. We have here another guy. He's a CIA, former CIA Russia analyst, Michael van Landingen. Landingem. He says fear of Gaddafi scenario. Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, if you see how NATO killed Gaddafi, not the so-called Arab Spring. There was not an Arab Spring when people die and get hanged and stabbed, and that was not an Arab Spring like it was an Orange Revolution in Maidan in Ukraine in 2014 or whatever that it was. So it says here that it says uh, I think that Putin's current actions relate essentially to Libya and the Arab Spring and the election of Barack Obama. So Obama is elected as an anti-war on an anti-war platform. He's an anti-war candidate. Well, really, why don't you check and see what happened? I think Benghazi was under him. I think Libya was under him. Right? They wanted Syria, anti-war, and besides, for me, Nobel's Prize is a um, or Nobel's Peace Prize is just a political. The whole institution lost its credibility, for me at least. When well, I had doubts before when I just checked the origin of these scientists that tend to come from certain areas and blah blah blah. So when they awarded former President Barack Obama Nobel's Peace Prize before he even I think took office. I was like, that's a masquerade here. It's a masquerade. How do you know how he's gonna? I mean, and people say no, they want to, you know, to make him, to oblige him. No, you give me an award without even without even deserving it, without doing anything about it. I don't do anything. Why don't you give me a few millions for, I don't know, cleaning the streets before I do it? I mean, what is that? So anyway, there was a travesty. But what can you do? You know, um, that was so he's feared the Gaddafi scenario. Yeah, you should remember how that was, how the drones got the so-called protesters and so on, and they killed him. And what happened? Look at Saddam. What happened with Saddam Hussein? It was a trial under what rules? What that was a masquerade as well. But anyway, so here is this guy blames that Putin is afraid of to be killed like other guys were killed, which is legitimate fear if that would be true. But look how this ex-CIA expert thinks that is the reason why Putin put troops on his border, on his country, on his territory, bordering Ukraine. That's how much this guy could think about things. CIA. Yeah, okay. We got the next one here. Yeah, it says this guy who's Dan Hoffman, former CIA Moscow chief of station. He must be very good. He says burn down their house. Um, so it says here that first of all, NATO membership is a fig leaf. It's a red herring. everyone knows Ukraine isn't joining NATO anytime soon. Okay, anyone? I don't know that. Am I part of that? Anyone? No. All right. So it takes anonymous consent. France and Germany won't give that. How do you know? Are you have a crystal ball? How do you know in 3 years what happens politically in those countries? So this is a very that he talks about the future without any proof to support his statements. France and Germany won't give that. How do you know that, Mr. What's your name? Hoffman, former CIA Moscow chief of station. I don't want to use bad words here, but he qualifies some for some. So that's this guys. It's just unbelievable. Talks about NATO and how Ukraine will not join because he says so. Yeah, it says here. This is the most laughable, I think. It's just imagine that you talk with your, I don't know, 13-year-old, 15, 14-year-old, I don't know, child. And this is what Chris Miller, former acting Secretary of Defense, 2020-2021, former acting Secretary of Defense. He says, he's just a damn bully. Just a damn bully. So that's his analysis of that guy. How in the hell just a bully could get to rule a country like Russia just like that? He doesn't understand what's going on in Russia, how dangerous it is. If he would, this Chris Miller would try to do something, a political career over there, he would be exterminated in the first days. It's like the same thing that happened with former President JFK and Nikita Khrushchev when they met the first time when they met in Vienna. He mopped the floor with Kennedy. Kennedy was paralyzed after that. He cried the whole night, and he was like a wet mop after that. Just look into the first meeting between Khrushchev and Kennedy in Vienna. The same. These guys just think that just a damn bully. Well, he got a very big and deep way of analyzing people. It seems like knowing people, and he was, my God, okay. He has his opinion. His opinion. Now we have Paul Zalucci, a former senior CIA official who served in Kiev and Moscow. He says a desperate attempt to win back the empire. Well, desperate attempt or not desperate attempt, I don't know about that. Um, you can interpret it that way, but what does he want to do? Conquer the Ukraine? They never said they want to do that. Now, if you have evidence, why don't you just provide it to us? Um, then he's trying to use here uh, it's just statements without evidence, and the logical connections that he makes over there are just not there. Let's put it this way. We have another guy here who's Josh Manning, a former Russian military and foreign policy analyst with U.S. European Command, and he says this: Putin has pushed twice with no real consequence. All right, and he tells us two examples. He gives us the example of um, Georgia incident, situation, war, and the Crimea's incident. So I talked about the Crimea, I think in the first on the first part, and then Georgia, and he uses this kind of very I don't want to say funny because it's not funny. And he is just he says here that Georgia um, is just he invaded Georgia. It was a war between Georgia and Russia. Like they just started two bullies, two crazy mad people attacking one another. And no, in Georgia, the Saakashvili, the president, who was educated in the United States prior to going over there and being democratically elected, he had the U.S. backing. He got American military personnel training his army. He's got military equipment sold by the United States. He was emboldened by all these things, and he started what with Ossetia. He invaded over there. There was some Russian keeping mission over there. It was over there. So those guys retaliated. These guys, Georgia attacked the whole thing, and then Russia said, "You know what? We're gonna smack you back." And just they did, and they did. And Saakashvili was calling the Western country to intervene and giving the Hungary example, right? From the 1950s. Such a such a weasel. And what did Saakashvili do after that? He became a what? A politician in Ukraine, I think. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And nobody wants him in Georgia now, I guess. Um, when we have another article here from Insider, written on the 16th of February 2022 by Cheryl Tech. And it says here Jared Kushner has been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize a second time for his work on the Abraham Accords. I spoke about this Nobel Peace Prize, the institution of Nobel Peace Prize institution over there is just lost its credibility a long time ago for me, and especially when former President Barack Obama was awarded this Nobel Peace Prize before he even started doing anything, and it proved he deserved that. But whatever. So this guy, who doesn't know anything about, he was a senior advisor, Middle East advisor for former President Donald Trump. He is clueless. He's got connections. He's got a name, and he is part of a certain organization. So what can I say? He shouldn't have been in the White House whatsoever ever. But if I look at other people who are and were, I think he's just meets the criteria to be there. So no, maybe he will be. He is part of the a certain group that usually is awarded these kind of things just because, and I hope he gets it so everybody else can see that people like him and others just take it because. And the last article, it's not our last, second to last, is a Reuters article from February 16th, 2022, and it's titled U.S. Blinken warns Russia against declaring Ukraine breakaway regions independent. Well, I think I touched by this subject, and we can remember, for instance, the American Mexican War, how it all started with um, the state of Texas, that belonged to Mexico, and they wanted self-determination, and it was the incident on the Rio Grande incident, and American blood was spilled on territory, blah blah blah. So that's kind of like this, and then the right of self-determination. What if those guys say, you know what, we are Russian and we want our territory back as it was? Why not? I mean, United Nations Charter says, yeah, the right of people's self-determination, no, right? Yeah, but it's pick and choose. And the last one is Brazil's Bolsonaro departs for Russia despite objections. So this is a Associated Press from February 14th, 2022, and it says here that the plane of Brazil's president took off on Monday for Moscow, and then it says here that it was despite Western warnings the country could soon invade Ukraine, like Russia invade Ukraine. Okay, blah blah blah. So they try everything. Too many people are going to Moscow. It becomes like the center of this plan as of now, trying to talking, debating, dealing things, making decisions. Well, this is that's it for now, and thank you very much for being with me. Stay strong, stay smart, look for truth and justice. See you next time. Bye bye.